my network connection quickly here. There we go. Oh, that was going to be the problem. Oh, so it seems we've got about 20 people here that is joining us. Nice, nice, nice. That's great. All right, so it is on the dot, 6:30. So we are going to start, as we only have got an hour for our session, and I don't want to make the session longer than that, because I know a lot of people afterwards have to look at it, and if it's too long, then obviously many people, don't have really time to sit down and listen to long conversations. So, ladies and gentlemen, so it's a privilege first of me to just, I think our guest of honors, that is our students. That's the way. That's the study way. They are always our guest of honors. I want to just thank all the students that have joined us. Thank you very much for taking the time to look at a very interesting topic, and I think a very powerful topic. So welcome at the session. Then, ladies and gentlemen, there are two more people on the session, Sanet Waldik and Mochoko. You will see her. She is there already on the screen. That is the lady that is going to do our session tonight. She's going to lead us on this topic of what do we do with training and education after post-COVID and what's really happening in the world of work. And I will ask Sanet just to introduce her. So just quickly to introduce Sanet this moment. So ladies and gentlemen, Sanet comes a long way with me from Stadio side, and she is currently the HR lead for Africa for a company called SMEC, S-M-E-C, which is a global engineering and management and development consultancy firm, which I quickly have a look on their website, and really it looks like they're doing impressive work right through the world. It's really a world company. I've seen that they're all over. So I also know Sanet from that she is my moderator for my OBR. And Sanet was previously a student of Stadio, which she have received a master's degree in management with flying colors. So Sanet, welcome to you. And let me hand over there to you to introduce our speaker for the evening.
Thank you, Henk. Mochoko, or as we call the Choki. She and I used to work together at a company called Conco. All over Africa. We both moved to SMEC at the moment, and Choki is the HR lead for talent acquisition and talent retention. So she's a skills facilitator, very much in tune with what's happening in training and development in the world, and also committed to complete a master's degree within the next couple of years. We'll start together. We'll share some of our experiences. We'll interactively present together, and hopefully we try to make it just like 7 slides because we don't want to be dead by PowerPoint. But the intention is if we can share experiences or ask questions or just share our thinking of where we see TD is going in the future. All right, thanks, Henk. We can go to the first slide.
Right. Thank you. Also, may I just acknowledge quickly, I see Dr. Treda Oosthuizen has joined us. He is the head of our school. Treda, welcome here. I really do appreciate. And it seems we're now on about 32 people here. So great there. Treda, thank you very much for joining the session. I do appreciate. All right, so let me quickly just share my screen here, and then obviously you can just indicate if you can see. All right, can you see my screen there?
Yeah, we are building a future. Okay.
Right. Apology. Let me just mute my mic because else we're going to have some maybe some things on my side.
All right. We go to slide 2. We just it's still in slide 1. Okay. We just wanted to put just the agenda. We just want to focus on learning and development approach, the leaders, AI, the benefits of online training, and then any questions, discussions. We wanted to include this slide because this breach was designed by our boss, John Anderson. So we design engineers, also the flyover in well, a lot of the roads you're driving on, a lot of those things was done by our company. But we both love Cape Town, so we thought we'll have to bring up this slide. Okay, thanks, Henk. Next slide. So we thought, what about the future? What is really needed from a company and L&D? How can we lead the way? And we've done some research. We looked at really high-profile companies that's really on the edge, best practice. And the word that kept popping up was agility. We need to be agile in the company. We bring in agility in our employees. That's the big focus. So what does it mean? So from our perspective, it's about career growth and relevance. So for organizations, it means the ability to survive and thrive even amid economic headwinds after experiencing the impact of the pandemic. And the bad news from our economist is that the following couple of years, we're going to see the next recession. That's going to have a huge impact on the economy. It will cause some of our companies to start shutting down again. It will cause retrenchment. So the only way for companies to really survive in the future is about agility. And what does it take for us as leaders or the team, the experts within the company? So about constant learning. So according to the World Economic Forum, within the next 5 years, up to 65% of our current jobs will become redundant. So what do we do to cater for that? So how do we make provision so that we're able to ensure that we train, develop, and grow our employees in what required in the future in the specific roles? So part of our HR function is we need to build cultures in which everyone has the tools, career paths, and the skills to succeed, taking cognizance where the future and technology is taking us. Thanks, Henk. Next slide. Okay, Chucky.
Good evening, everybody. I almost said good afternoon, good morning, because that is how our colleagues from all over the world are greeting us, because we've got footprints, in the whole world. We've got Australian colleagues, we've got colleagues from China and Hong Kong, and that has taught us that as SMEC we are really really approaching the future with agile capabilities. So without wasting any time, as Annette introduced me, my name is Bisoko Radikadi. I've been, in the L&D space for almost 10 years. And every day we learn, every day we learn. And for me, if I can bring about a personal experience, is that, with COVID, I think COVID has pushed us to approach everything that we are doing in a project, terms of applying agility. And today we're looking at L&D, as a component within HR. And for me, L&D, it really, it took a most of my career, and really it's where I find joy when I'm operating in that space. So with COVID, what has happened, for to me or to my colleagues, we looked at the strategies that we're applying to say classroom training, is it working? We were forced to go into that mode because of the pandemic. I don't know if we didn't experience that as as a country, or as a world, would we have been able to apply the project management agility at the point that we are applying it. So for me on this slide, what really plays a huge role is highlighting the fact that we really need to upskill, either as employees, as students, and as individuals, because upskilling it's a personal responsibility. At this point, we are looking at technology. and we need to advance ourselves. Earlier on, when we joined the meeting, Hank mentioned that, the school have moved everything to an LMS system, which students are really trying, to find their way around that. But at this point, we are just saying the time is now. We need to grab this opportunity with two hands, because as Annette mentioned, most positions are becoming redundant in the corporate world because people are not willing to upskill themselves, right? And you don't want to be that person in the boardroom where the new technology is introduced, and you are that person that says, we haven't done it like that, and it hasn't been done, and that will automatically make your role redundant, or your input in the company to not, to not be taken into consideration. And there are a few things that we can look at, and this slide is mainly, we've got the information from LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, we know that is a powerful tool that each and every a person is using to date. And it is giving us a clear indication to say technology is the way to go, and L&D is taking the lead to say we are giving our employees, the right skills, the right tools, and they are able to learn at any point, and I don't want to jump guns here and go into my next slide without obviously linking, the story to the following slide. Henko, you can go to the next slide.
Okay, I'll start here, then you can
Yep.
build on.
Yes.
We've also, one of the things that we're really struggling with at the moment in the industry is retention of skilled people. A lot of people in South Africa are starting to feel fear due to the constant load shedding, the politics. Some areas have constant water issues. So they're starting to make the decision, if we skill people, let's immigrate to other parts of the world where life just seems to be much easier. So we've learned that learning and development offerings can be the differentiator that entices talent to join our company, and and keep employees engaged and grow them in the company. So how do we go about doing that? So we've got projects all over Africa for engineers sitting in Kenya who's read a lot about South Africa and would like to get involved in South African road projects. We afford that opportunity. So you get exposed to a different country, a different culture, a different way of things. And we do the same with our South African employees. We have a couple of them working on a very interesting projects in the Middle East. Imagine in the Middle East, we're building a ski resort with a hotel and a dam in the middle of the desert. I mean, how cutting edge is that? And please give us the opportunity to go on that project. And if we want to retain you, we're going to create the opportunity to let you go. A lot of focus is to incorporate fourth industrial revolution and artificial intelligence in what we do. If you ever come across our company and you come and visit us, we'll give you a 3D glass and we show you some of the projects. So you have a look at the 3D, you see the dam that we build. It will show you how the boats of the future, we don't need drivers, those type of things. So, and for a young person with lots of potential, they like to be exposed to these modern technology that's cutting edge. So we make sure that we need to keep ahead of the pack by focusing on the best available technology in the market. And we also got a multi-generational workforce. We've got people, young people from in the 20s. We've got some people at 75. So we need to make sure that L&D programs work for a multi-generational workforce. For the young guys, for you guys in your 20, you get born with a cell phone in the one hand and a laptop in the other hand. It just comes naturally. For our 62-year-olds, we always say we call BC, before computers. So we need to make sure that we focus on what that specific individual needs to make sure that we develop and grow the skills. And remote experimental learning, that's very powerful. So we take throughout the whole of Africa, we proceed with some experimental learning. We give the guys to proceed, come up with solutions, make mistakes, learn from each other, and then at the end we end up with a much better product. Digital adoption platform to enable learning in the flow of work. That's very interesting. What we do, we take engineers that's newly qualified, that doesn't really have the experience that some of the more senior engineers have. So we start with a project. In the flow of work, they do the first step. Then it goes to the more senior engineer who will review that work and add the second phase to it. So during the flow of work, both individuals learn from each other and they'll be able to rectify what's needed for the design. Very efficient, very new age technology. And we've also realized that we need skills such as active learning, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. If you don't have that in your employees, they're not really able to adjust, grow, and be able to what's needed within the next 5 to 10 years. Thanks, Henk. Please stop us if you've got any questions, contributions. We also like to learn from you.
Most definitely, Sanet, and I support that. And so when we look at the benefit of online training, and maybe before I even jump into the benefit of online training, if I can take a few steps back and look at how we used to do training 3 years ago, not even long time ago, right? We believed so much in face-to-face classroom training, and COVID did happen, and when it happened, it pushed most of the training companies, 80% of them, to start creating the face-to-face content that they have, and create it online, right? And when we look at the benefit of online training, one can wonder, why did it take such a huge impact for us to transform to online training, which is something that we are able to do, and it saves companies lots and lots of money. Because you can imagine, when you do face-to-face training, this session was not going to be able to be possible, to run at this time efficiently, and as it's running at the comfort of our own homes, right? So online training, we just took few benefits of using the online platforms or using online training. The first one is is scalable. You are able to scale it, and you are able to train the bigger pool of your employees using the online platform, because they can access it at any given time. Like Sanet said, the now generation, you are born with a phone on the other side, a laptop on the other side, so you are able to access the content. So it's scalable, and then it's also consistent. You are able to get a fresh content on that spot, as is updated. And for companies, we look, and for me, this is also another personal experience, that I joined SMAC in a talent acquisition space, where we are shortlisting engineers. So a line manager can easily say, you know what, yes, I understand that this person will have a degree in civil engineering, but can we expand the scope to say, is this person having a different short courses from online platforms? For example, we've got Udemy, we've got different LMSs with content that is online, and the line managers are looking into that to say, this person is willing to upskill themselves, and stay relevant, and they're self-reliant. They're able to go out and learn new skills on their own time, and that shows that that person takes an initiative to grow and be relevant. And then it's saving money and time for companies. For example, at Conco, we used to encourage our employees to say, it doesn't really matter what mode of transport you are using. You can be in the taxi, and then you can open the LMS, because you can access it at any point, and then you can go through the content, and then by the time you get home, you did learning in the past 30 minutes while you are commuting going home, right? And then when we look at the return on investment for organization, we save money by not having face to face, where we need to book the venue, where you need to pay for for traveling, and all those things that are incurred when we are doing face to face training. And then carbon footprinting, we are reducing on printing papers. The content is online. And as you know, there is a policy that, or the act that is governing, the retention of documents. It can be either 5 years to 7 years that the content can be accessed at any time online. So it also saves us time. Can you imagine at our time, or when I was doing, my matric, the content was paper based. At this point, if I want to go and access my examination papers that I completed 10 years, 20 years ago, I'm unable to do that because the content is not online. But for the person that did an online training, they are able to access the content at any given time. And also, it is reducing the carbon footprint. And then personalized. What I find with a lot of LMS systems is that you can go into the content, and filter the information the way we want it. If today you feel like you want to look into time management as a course, because you feel like you are struggling to manage your time, or you have given a project and you are unable to complete that project, you are able to go to the LMS system and download the information which is personalized and talks to you at that point, and you can close the gap and attain that skill at that given time. And it's all self-reliant. And the flexibility, you can access the information or the content at any time, like I said, either in a taxi, in a train, commuting home, you are able to access the information. And it's flexible. You can even access it after hitting the gym on a Saturday, and then you can complete, your online training. If you are an employee, and as a student as well, you can do your assignment at any given time, using the online platforms.
I think that's it. So I think
Okay.
what we basically say, a lot of focus on technology, automation, that's going to cause that a lot of the current skills will become redundant in the future. We just had the discussion today. I don't think we'll ever get to a stage where we get rid of humans. All these robots, AI, all of that will create the platform to put things together, but we're always going to use that intervention. I think from us, from an L&D space, we just need to make sure that we keep ahead of the pack, realize what the future holds for the next 5 to 10 years, that we get into that space and to groom, grow, and develop our employees that they will be able to fit into the roles that's required in the future. That's where the agility and the flexibility is really important. Good, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Any
right.
questions? Any
Yes.
questions? Yes.
Thank you very much for our speakers here, our presenters here, in a very quick nutshell, a very powerful message, a very clear message, I think. And before I going to make any comments, because when I sometimes start, I might not end. Uh, one of my weaknesses. Let me throw over a little bit to our students that is joining us now. Is there any questions, guys? You can just raise your hand, and you can just open your mics, and you are free to ask any questions. So please, I would like you to engage with us.
Or contributions as well.
More
Yes. Yes,
contributions or
definitely.
ideas or suggestions or stories that you want to tell. So please feel free. The floor is open for a conversation. So let me maybe ask the students to start off here to say, there's Geraldine. Geraldine,
Yes,
open your mic, chat to us.
Hi guys, can everybody hear me?
we can
Oh,
hear
you
you,
can?
Geraldine.
Okay. In terms of online sessions during this pandemic period, what would you say? What was the challenges for you as a facilitator, besides internet connectivity issues? Would you say can be how can I say deeming or have a negative impact in terms of virtual learning? What are some of the challenges that you
I mean,
faced?
Geraldine, you've touched on the I think the challenge that takes 80% of the challenges that we come across when engaging on a digital platforms, which is the network. And then currently the biggest one, obviously, which didn't happen a lot at that time, it was your load sheddings, the schedule where people are unable to attend. And then and also, like Sanet said, as much as we are talking AI, we are not going to be able to rely completely on robots or computer systems, because even today you see that a person will be online, and then they will have their cameras on, and then that will disrupt the learning, if that is an online session. But at this point, I think the network is the biggest one. And then, yeah. Do you have any more that you can add, Sanet? But for me, I think the network is the biggest.
Or sometimes you also can't gauge at what level or learning phase the people is that participate. Because
Yes.
as you said, you go off, you put your camera off, you continue with something else, and at the end the person join. So
Mm,
I think that's probably to make sure you have that maturity within your group and the trust, that the people are engaged, that they want to learn, that they are participating. So that's why important to really chat, ask questions, share, get everyone engaged in the session to ensure that you track the progress of the whole group.
mm. And I think in addition to that, while you were inputting this, and I thought about the personalized touch. It does not bring about where you can, because when you are in a classroom, you are able to sense the emotions, the connection of, like, a human connection, to say this person is understanding or they are not understanding. Online you find that people are muted, and there is no conversation, and then you are not able to gauge, is this person understanding the content or not. So you are using the blanket approach to say, okay, I'm assuming that everybody's understanding and the content is reaching, the people that I want to reach.
Thank you for that. I get that because some people tend to get distracted.
Yes,
They might not. I know sometimes it also depends on because now you're not face to face. You can't see how they're interacting with you. So
precisely.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
some of the barriers might also be that they're too afraid to ask this question or they're
Mm,
too
Yeah.
afraid to
Mm.
engage because what people might say or think. So
mm,
I think that can also be some of the
Yeah.
challenges.
mm.
Geraldine, luckily the good news is, and I have just today have shared a bit of information with my organizational behavior students, and some of the developments in terms of your connectivity and internet, like moving to 5G and then moving to RIV, EVV, something they call it, is literally exponentially going to change the limits that we have in terms of online facility. And those are things are literally on the brink. They're not that far away. In some parts of the world, you will not have any connectivity problem. You will not have everybody can keep their mics open. They can keep their phone numbers. They can do everything. You can do a lot of things. So yes, although we might be that, there's still we're going to see radical changes in terms of the ability of connectivity, the speed of connectivity,
Mm,
and our ability to just talk to each other and communicate to each other seamlessly on online, seamlessly.
mm,
I'm just thinking about the word I've mentioned there communicate with no friction. That is the word they are using.
mm, mm.
So there will be no delays, nothing in that process. Yeah. Antoinette, you
Good
can.
day, all. Thank you so much. On my side, I just want to make a comment with regards to Stadio and you, Hank, affording us the opportunity to be able to be presented or join into such a webinar because it opens our mind, it opens us to really look into the future to say, what else can I do to better myself?
Mm,
What else is there? Just not learning theory, but also doing other things just to
mm,
fill up that basket, to
mm,
say it stands me a better chance in the workspace environment. It's really nice. I really want to say thank you so much.
Mm,
And the other thing I wanted to know from the ladies, Bitsoko and Sanet, is at the end of this webinar, are you guys going to maybe provide us with more information on what can we do if we want maybe to be assisted maybe by you or someone else who's going to then maybe assist us in this journey of what direction must maybe we take in order to upskill ourselves? Thank you so
mm.
much.
Antoinette, thank you very much for that. We do really appreciate, and you must watch the space. There will be more coming. This is just the start of the
mm,
webinars. I can also maybe share with the group that's here on tonight that I will do a colloquium in May, which will be mainly hosted at our new Centurion campus, the mega campus, but they also will be online. And the colloquium, I'm bringing in a real expert in how the world of work will look in the future, given the fourth industrial revolution, but also the fifth and the sixth industrial revolution. She is very dynamic. She has done her homework. She's done the research. So watch out for the invitations, guys. For those who are in Pretoria, Johannesburg, you will be able to join on the campus. It will be a minimal fee, I think about 300 Rand, and I'll even throw you a lunch in there. But you'll also be able to go online. It will cost a little bit less. So look out for invitation, and that's going to be a very, very nice and big event that we're going to do. And there, I think we're going to hear really, I think what both our speakers have offered to us tonight is sometimes what's going to be the realities. What is that we're going to see happen really in the workplaces? And that does not just include, obviously, in the L&D space, but also in all other spaces. That's going to be important. So, yeah, guys, for coming. But thank you very much for that. I do really appreciate. All right. Any more questions, guys? We've got some experts here. Now you must use the time.
I just have another quick question. Sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead.
And this is not for the session alone, but I just want to know, in terms of, you guys mentioned the different skills that we will need for future purposes within the learning and development space. I think, Henk, I don't know if you can answer this question, but will Stadio offer, like in terms of learning and development, how to bridge that gap? Maybe some sessions on how to use the e-learning systems, for example, how to create e-learnings or things like that. Is that something that the campus is looking into, or is it not offered as of yet?
Geraldine, the good news is that they are busy in developing a range, and I know they already start offering some of that. So just watch out for your emails and information, and I will also communicate once I know a bit more. We're starting with a process where we are going to educate and train people more to use specifically technology and how to do that, and how to get access and how to work it. Luckily, I must be quite honest here that. When the Canvas was introduced, I initially thought it's going to be a challenge. And I've spent now about a year on Canvas, and I've done an online course on Canvas, a purely online course. And I must be honest, it's actually an incredible, easy system to navigate. But as you rightly said, Geraldine, we just need to give you that pointers where to go. I also want to encourage everybody, when you get onto Canvas, please go wild on it. Click open, make open. You can break nothing, you can delete nothing. All right. I know sometimes that is the biggest fear when people use technology is I'm going to delete everything, or it might break. Yeah. Then they're going to know me. So I want you to go and just go on and click everything open and download everything, and because all the information is there, you can actually download as well, and you can save it in a separate file.
Oh, that's great thing. What we do, sometimes we approach places like Stadio to do like a leadership interventions for senior, and then estimate some of the development and training. But what we also use is places like LinkedIn training. That's really also viable, and people can have access at nominal rates, and it just give a whole spectrum of what's required currently and also future based. So there's really a lot of platforms that's really tailor-made to and companies.
Yeah. Thank you, Sunette. And I just want to also confirm or reaffirm, I think, what our speakers have presented to us tonight. And they said they've went onto the online, they've went onto the technology, they've decided that. Now, I'm currently engaged in the project of ABSA, and for example, ABSA Bank have made a decision, senior decision, that no training or education, learning or development will happen in the classroom anymore. Everything must be online. Even examinations, everything. There's no policy in the company that provide for physical sit down in class training anymore. They have made a very bold decision, and they've literally have moved totally away from any kind of contact learning,
Mm.
and everything happens online. So now we really see in reality what companies are busy doing as and obviously, as you guys have mentioned, there are some of the challenges that we do have,
Mm.
but I also believe in the same time, people taking the bold step, that we will see some very changes in terms of creating a little bit more interaction, the ability to put a little bit of a human side to our training, if I
Mm.
can put it that way. So it's happening in the world. It is thing, isn't it? A lot of people is not going back to the classroom anymore.
Mm. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Hank, because I think most of the companies, they just realized the huge expense that they've been incurring, on the face-to-face training. And just to realize that, we are able to do the same training, but we don't need to fly a trainer from Cape Town to come to Johannesburg to train for 5 days, which is costing accommodation, flights, and all that, and companies are really shying away from face-to-face, which is one thing, which is the challenge to our normal trainers who are used to face training only, so it's really also pushing them to upskill themselves, and then to be able to render the services online and pre-record the content and make it interactive. So
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
ABSA is many of it's one of
Yeah,
many.
yeah,
ABSA is one of
yeah.
many. Yeah.
The cost factor is that COVID have shown us the cost
Yeah.
factor of what it take to take people to a place and do that is just way too much. They can do so much better with the
Mm,
money. So, Fisher, you
definitely.
asked me, are we also writing online exams? Well, not yet. We're still going to get you all in a classroom in a venue of an invigilator. But let me put it this way, is that we are busy doing research at different ways of online and what is available in the market and what. Unfortunately, in this time, there's not technology that can accommodate, for example, if 1,000, 2,000, 6,000 people write an exam at the same time. So that's a bit of a challenge currently, but it's something that guys that works in the IT space, they will solve that problem out. I mean,
Mm,
they know there's a market for something like that.
mm.
So no, so I'll see you there in the venue for the exam for now. All right. Not tell you 5 years. I cannot.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Right. And I must be quite honest, some of the technology that's already there. So if the idea was if you write online, you will be able to peek in your study guide or in your textbook, and I'm not saying you do that. I can
Yeah.
tell you the technology will tell me
Won't
immediately.
allow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
technology will tell me immediately. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So,
And I can share some insight on that. I had the opportunity to work for one of the IT company. Presickness is based in Renberg, just behind Cresta Mall. So what they do, they offer learnerships, computer, IT tech learnership for 12 months, and then they've collaborated with AWS. And AWS, you need to write an exam. So how they build the system is that even if you make a shift movement, they disqualify you, so the system will be so ring fenced that you are not going to be able to open a different screen to refer to your notes. So yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint, but yeah.
yeah. So no, that's the reality,
Yes.
unfortunately. Because in the process, when you do online, you share your screen with me, so I can see
Yes,
what's on the screen. If you try to open your fingers, we will know that.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, guys, that much depend on the kind of technology. It also depend on the capacity of the technology, the speed of the internet, capacity of that, your capacity of your own computers, and those kind of things are quite important. So there's many factors that we have to look at, but there's merely just a bit of a time before we actually get to that point where
Mm,
the technology behind it will have the capacity to deal with like 6,000 students at one
mm,
time writing an online exam. It is coming. It is coming.
mm.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Thank you for the time and all the best with your exam preparation. And as
Sure.
Henk always say, hard work pays off. So put in the effort and you'll see the results. All the best with the year.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So last thought there, Machoko, from your side, maybe a last thought.
Look, all I can say is that we are here. If they need to contact us, I gave you our details.
Thank
If they
you.
want to drop an email, to ask a question or have a conversation, we're open for that. And yeah, all the best. And take time, Google what skills are going to be needed in the next 10 years, and then try to align yourself to that. Learn every day. There's something new that you can learn. And thank you very much for awarding us this time, and engaging and having the conversations with the team. Yeah.
Thank you, there, Sanet.
No, I can't improve on that. I can just say ditto. All the best and adult learning. Never stop learning. I
Mm,
did my master's when I was 50. It really lifelong learning, adult learning. Keep abreast, embrace technology, make the
mm,
best of it. It's really very life enrichment. And all the
mm.
best. Thank
I
you,
say,
guys.
thank you, guys. I can just echo what you are sharing with us. And Numpanelo, yeah,
Taking the
I
opportunity.
was I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that one.
Well played, Nompumelelo. Well played.
Wow. Okay, Mrs. Lavini. I'm not sure which subject you have, but if you go on Canvas, ne? The exam papers, pre-exam paper is already on Canvas, okay? All right, they already uploaded for most subjects, all right? They're already there. You must just go and find them, you can download them there. So there's a secret I'm sharing. Now I know I'm going to get everybody on Canvas.
Excellent.
Because there's exam papers. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I can just echo what our presenters have said, guys. I think you must, and I may be speaking to the converted here, lifelong learning is absolutely the key. Reposition yourself, reskill yourself, realign yourself, rethink what you are doing, because then you will make yourself, you create yourself a space in the future, or else you're going to become absolute.
Mm,
And as we know that the world is sometimes a cruel place and it probably will check you out. And that's why it's so important that we need to be lifelong learners and continue our learning journey and make sure that we learn the right things, as Annette quite rightly have said, that will provide us future jobs in terms of what you're doing. So on my side, thank you to everybody, our speakers, our students there, guys, all the best. I know that you're going to start soon with your assignments. All the best with that. I want to encourage you to join all your other online sessions because the lecturers is there. They're waiting for you to assist you. Kozo, I see you've got your hand up. One last remark there.
Oh, sorry, sir. It's got touched by mistake.
All right,
Sorry.
no problem, no problem. I thought you can have that punch
Thank
question for
you.
us as the last one. All right, guys, all the best. Stay well and have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Hank.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.